Welcome to the Nebrasketball Hour. Caleb and I are both in my basement. We just watched the most annoying basketball game in history. It's brought to you, not the game, the show is brought to you by Nebraska Realty, Wahoo Office. They do a great job in Nebraska with Realty. I can't say enough about how great they are, and we love having them as a sponsor. Iowa 57, Nebraska 52. Iowa stormed the court. You know, you got to be happy for that university. One of the greatest moments in, I don't know, top 2, top 4. It's hard to tell. One of the greatest moments in that university's history. And I'm not even just talking about athletics, but academics, and maybe probably in the state's history. So congratulations to them on having an amazing night. Caleb is in my basement, and it sounds like he's probably having some technical issues, which is about par for the course, given this amazing night.
No, I'm good. If I sound okay, it's just since we're so close, I'm just going to ditch the headphones because I can hear you talking the whole time.
We had Caleb came over tonight to watch the game, and I have to be a little quiet and do the show this way. And I'm not probably better than I'm not yelling.
No,
because I would like to yell a lot.
How dumb was that? Just like start to finish, how dumb was this game?
Was it the least enjoyable basketball game you've ever watched in your life? Is that potentially what it was?
I mean, easily the least enjoyable this season. I don't want to start thinking about other games and spiral down that hole.
I mean, yeah, I guess I mean, just in terms of basketball aesthetics, you had Nebraska, which, I do think I do have critiques about Nebraska's play tonight, surprising to many of you. Obviously had great issues offensively, trying to, outside of Sam Hoiberg a couple of times, they could not ever get Price Sanford into a rhythm, get him open. Rienk Mast. I mean, I felt like, given the skill Iowa had in the middle, Caleb, Rienk Mast should have had one of his best scoring nights of the year. So he had that, and it was really, really tough to watch. I mean, really tough to watch on offense for Nebraska for the entire night. And I get that Sturtz was I don't know if you guys heard this, but Sean Morris, and he had some good insight. He said, and I don't know if you heard this, Sturtz is playing good defense. And I think it was the 18th time he told us that. I was like, he is playing good defense. It's really good defense. And so, that if you want to start at the beginning, it was Nebraska's offense just being completely. The stats you were throwing out during the course of the game, the end of the game, Caleb, in terms of how long they had gone without scoring, were just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's when you were watching, and it's like, okay, think about how good everything felt when you got that Braden Frager dunk. And Nebraska goes up 2 points, goes up 43-41. There was 12:01 left in the game. Nebraska made one more shot in more than 11 and a half minutes. The next 11 and a half minutes saw 4 points scored. And you got the 5 points in the last 30 seconds there, but you were already out of it because you were getting all of those free throws made. You had 7 free throws made in the last 36 seconds for Iowa. But how? In the last 12 minutes, how do you end up with 52 points when you had 43 with 12 minutes to go? Like, the offense cannot just completely disappear. There are obviously stretches we see. Okay, it's a little bit colder in the first half. Things aren't going well. Things will start to heat up. And yeah, you had Nebraska's offense start to heat up with that 13-3 run, and you get your lead with 13:03 to go, and a minute later you get Frager's dunk. But then to just completely disappear, that was a new one for Nebraska. Even in all of these games where they've been close, Nebraska should have won by more, maybe some of like the bye games, even against Purdue and Illinois and Michigan, you did not get absolute The offense teleported itself into space. It's not there. That's what you got in the second half. And that's what you got for the last 12 minutes from Nebraska. And you can't do that in a game. And still, you got to the last minute and we're not out of it. That's the part that's most frustrating. You had your worst 12 minutes of basketball of the season, and all you had to do was be slightly better than that, and you win the game. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are just astounding, and they tried. There's just so many things that did. And look, Iowa plays some good defense, but they don't have 5 guys on the floor. I don't know. Like, look, I'm trying not even to be too mean, but like they don't have. That's not a. You got a couple of guys who are Big Ten level players on that team. You don't have a lot. I mean, like I'm saying it I'm trying to, but I mean, it was pretty clear tonight. Like they were, I was concerned coming into this game, but like a few minutes into the game, I was like, oh my goodness, this Iowa team is not even quite what I expected. And it was not a good thing.
No, that was an extremely unimpressive Iowa team for now being at 19 wins. Think about the way you see Nebraska and you see the wins and you saw what happened. You go back to that week with Creighton and Wisconsin and Illinois and at Indiana and Michigan State. And you go through all these, like you can point to games and go, okay, it's impressive for Nebraska to get to 20-0, get to 21 wins, get to 22 wins. Iowa is at 19 wins, and yes, it's impressive that they beat Nebraska. It's not impressive at all to look over and go, okay, 19, how the hell did you do that?
Honestly, that is exactly. I know, look, if I'm watching this and I'm an Iowa fan, I'm cackling at that, but that's
sure. And you should be, because you're looking at potentially getting a double bye and playing yourself into you're definitely top half of the Big Ten. You're having a better year with the coaching change and having Ben McCollum there. You've got at least a second teamer in the league in starts, if not a first teamer. You're probably going to get a what I don't know what their bracketology is. What at least like a top 7 seed, a 7.
They were at 8 or 9 tonight.
Yeah, somewhere in there, wherever they're at. Like they're going to have some momentum, and they beat Nebraska. Like you cannot take that away from them, and we're absolutely not doing that. I'm just saying when I watched that game, I don't come away in the same way. It was impressive when Michigan beat Nebraska. It was impressive when Illinois beat Nebraska. It was impressive when Purdue beat Nebraska. Nothing Iowa did was impressive other than Nebraska looking like dog doo-doo for 40 minutes.
Like, here's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, obviously, Sturts is a very, very, very good player on both sides of the ball, and he has 25 points, shoots 22 field goals, 28 for 22. It wasn't even hitting threes. He was 2 for 3. 2 for 8 from 3 for the night. But you had players, multiple players who played over 20 minutes for Iowa who did, they didn't put up any stats. They didn't put up, Banks was bringing down boards. Sturts was scoring points. Sturts was playing defense, and the rest of them clearly were playing some defense. But that is it feels like it's 1.5 to 2. One offensive player and two total players beating you. It really feels that way. It's tough. So, inside the box score for Nebraska, and I am sorry I cannot get. This is not going to be a long show tonight. I'm not in the mood. We're having technical issues. Everything is terrible. But I'll talk about it as long as I can here. For Nebraska, Price Sanford actually led the team in scoring. Can you believe that, Price? How in the world can that microphone pick me up talking this quiet? That is the most sensitive microphone on earth.
Is it still getting you?
It's still. So I'm still echoing in my own head.
Do you can you hear me? Do you need headphones on right now? Would that solve this?
I have headphones on. They're great. And you sound great.
No, I'm saying, do you need them if you take them off?
I know, but I'm afraid it's going over the air, but whatever.
Okay.
Maybe it's not. I don't know. Sanford was a leading scorer for Nebraska. Jamarcus had 11. Rienk had 8. Frager and Kale had 6. Berke and Hoiberg had 4. Like Nebraska, this shocks me. What do you think Nebraska shot field goals in that game? I don't know if you have this up or not.
Well, I wrote my game recap, so I already
yeah.
know what Nebraska ended up shooting.
I can't believe it's that high.
I know. to make almost nothing for 12 minutes and to end up with that shooting percentage. What do we got here?
Yeah, everything sounds
only
fine.
3 makes in the last 12 minutes.
By the way, thank you for the messages on Discord. It sounds like it sounds fine, so I'll quit worrying about that. And now I can just look at this box score and be appalled.
So it was 3 for 11 after the Frager dunk.
Wow.
But you had, with the Frager dunk, you had made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Sanford missed a 3, and then Frager's dunk.
Nebraska shot 41% from the field. Iowa shot 33%. They shot 33. Nebraska. You just watch that game and you think about what Nebraska's offense was able to do scoring the ball, and Iowa's offense was significantly less efficient than Nebraska's offense, which is, Caleb, it's one of the most mind-blowing stats I have ever heard in my life. They were 17 for 51. Such a bad basketball game. I'm sorry. It's one of the worst things I have ever seen.
And here's the thing. Think about when we were talking about some of these other games where it's like, oh, they got 15, 17, 20 more shots than Nebraska because of the turnovers plus the offensive rebounds. The offensive rebounds were heavily for Iowa tonight.
Nebraska had 2 and Iowa had 12. Unbelievable.
And even with that, you only got 7 more shots put up for Iowa, and Nebraska made 18 field goals to Iowa's 17. So the 7 more shots were negligible. The free throws, Iowa 17 for 18, Nebraska 11 for 14. That's not a whole lot, when you're talking about that rebound disparity. But you and both teams only had 12 turnovers, so it comes down to Nebraska just needed to grab a couple more rebounds. Is that it? Because on the rebounding side, on the second chance points, Iowa gets 8 to Nebraska's 4. It's not like they did a ton with 10 more offensive rebounds than Nebraska.
No, then the other thing is just the free throws. And Nebraska was 11 for 14, not bad. But when Iowa was 17 for 18, those two things between the rebounds and that, it makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But how do you not? So Price sets the school record for single season 3-pointers made. And he had to work to get those 2. I think there could have been a lot more fouls called on him trying to run around and get free.
Really? I guess I didn't notice that tonight.
And neither did Sean Morris.
I'll have to watch the tape, and I don't know.
But how do you not just get somebody going? Sam Hoiberg ends up with 4 points, and we all saw, and it was impressive, the reverse layup and him like bullying guys into the paint. But he goes 2 for 8. He
didn't
missed
happen
all
again.
4 of his 3-pointers.
It's shocking they couldn't find anything that worked.
Mast 0 for 3, Frager 0 for 3. Those are from deep. Like, that's just, Nebraska has not had a night like that where you could say Sam, Rienk, and Braden combined to go 0 for 10 on 3-pointers.
It's shocking that we sat up there at halftime and we said, man, Nebraska is down 5 and they have no business being down 5 right now because they had the Cale Jacobson 3 there right before the half, and Iowa was hitting some shots, and you felt at halftime like the offense was going to break out of it because they couldn't hold them down that long. Mm-hmm. And they did. Like, They absolutely did. Why? You would see a little you'd see one thing and you'd be like, okay, that's going to start to work. Price would hit a three, or you had Frager. They had guys who couldn't guard Frager. I mean, like not even close, like man to man. They could, like it's so depressing. They they had guys who could not, stay in front of him whatsoever, and they could not use that to their advantage during the game. Rienk Mast should have had 30 points in that game.
Yeah.
Like I saw him go against guys at the beginning of this year who were, and I'll admit he goes, and I've said this many times, like he is not able to be an offensive weapon when he has someone who is clearly bigger and or more athletic than him.
Mm-hmm.
That guy wasn't on this team tonight for Iowa. And yet some weird, like Caleb, I remember one shot you were like, why would you take that? He would get guys posted up, and we've seen him so many times just sort of back someone down, or sort of just like and then eventually do some Euro finish, and he didn't have it in his bag tonight whatsoever. And he was like bobbling the ball every time he had it. He had it in his hands on the dribble. I don't know how much his thumb has to do with that, but he was just having a hard time hanging on to the ball. And then I still can't believe when he would have those one-on-one matchup. Do you remember at the beginning of the year? And Oklahoma was not a good defensive team by any means.
Right.
Do you remember against Oklahoma when he had guys who I guarding him that I feel like are better defenders than they're not great defenders, but they are better one-on-one defenders in size and athleticism than you had for Iowa. And Rienk would he did this against multiple teams. Just back him down, slowly back him down, and just beg them to double team him. And eventually they would. He'd pop it out. Like he had him in the palm of their hands.
Mm-hmm.
It looks nothing like that. Not even close. And I watched Rutgers game, and I was like, okay, maybe that's coming back now. Maybe he really. But tonight, I don't know why he couldn't have a bigger night. Because to me, if you talk about the biggest thing that wasn't there for the offense that should have been, in my opinion, there's lots of them, but that's the biggest one, given what this matchup was like.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were begging for one-on-ones with Rienk Mast in the post, or him, or not even in the post, but him getting the ball short corner around to the free throw line, elbow area. It's like, okay, if he's one-on-one, he's gonna one step, beautiful footwork, and he's gonna beat someone with a hook shot, or it's gonna be right at the rim, and that has just completely disappeared. Like even if the guys are shorter and he's got an advantage inside, there's just something missing about him turning and kind of bullying someone to the basket. It's not there. And I would have liked to see more. So we're talking about guys that like it just wasn't there. Frager goes 0 for 3 from deep, but he's 3 for 3 inside. I would have liked to see more spacing it out and him isolation, which is not Nebraska's offense. But if you're going that long between scoring, just do something to get a basket, get some points, because they could not guard Frager. Now, the counter to that is on the other side. Frager couldn't guard a mailbox.
Yeah,
like and anyone who wanted to get a step, and yeah, you have the leading scorer get to 25, and Sturtz, like, in some of that is just beating the hell of Frager off the dribble.
Yeah,
but he also hit some other shots, but it was that was glaring to me.
Especially in the first half.
Yeah, the defensive liability that he was. And that's not to say that other guys weren't, but it became really big when you saw Sam guard Sturtz and completely lock him up. And then they get the switch, and it becomes Frager's guy, and he goes by him without any kind of – it's not effort. I don't think it was effort, but it just seemed like, okay, he got one step and he was in the lane, and Frager's behind him already.
Mm-hmm.
And that that becomes an issue because you start to look at what is everyone's role on the team. If you're going to get beat defensively a little bit, you have to fill it up on the other end. And if you're not filling it up on the other end, that makes the defense more glaring while you're out there.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it just it looked like those a lot of Nebraska games I've watched in the past where they just don't have the offensive firepower, and they've got to try and win with defense, and they just fall short. And it sucks too, because you mentioned it. Sam Hoiberg at times, you know, I know they're not going to show highlights of just like on ball guarding a guy on the perimeter. Like, he had some like and one mixtape level straight up defense tonight.
Like disrespectful shot down the lane.
Like, I don't think we can say enough about how good it was. Like, Sturts didn't get him once. I mean, I think he had some step backs that he made. I'm not saying he didn't score, but like, he tried everything. He tried the jab step. He tried to get away from him. He tried everything that he could do, and he couldn't do any of it. And Iowa tried their best to just get Sam off of him, and they were successful enough that he got a lot of shots up and made a few of them. But even at the end of the game, I mean, they would sit there at the end of the game and they would try that high screen on Sam, and Cooper Koch, as a coach or Koch, I don't know, but he would.
I thought it was Koch. They kept saying Koch.
Yeah, it was Koch. It was some of the most half-ass screening. It was. I was like, why are they even doing this at this point? Like, it's so disappointing that kind of an. I mean, you want to ask what the most impressive thing for me in a defensive battle for Nebraska was just the way Hoiberg played defense, and it feels like nobody there's not a player on the team that brought the level, at least of overall play, that Hoiberg did on the defensive end at any place in the game tonight. And that's super disappointing given how important this game was.
So here's this point, Jack, is to kind of reiterate the get to the rack mentality for Nebraska, especially in a game like this where you shoot 20% from three, you only make 5 of them in the game, you go 5 for 24, you have a long stretch without scoring. And there are times where you have long stretches and just nothing's going in. Nebraska went 11 for 13 on layups. So those are shots right at the rim, you know? And there have been so many times where we've looked at this team and we're like, all right, they either didn't shoot in the paint at all, which Nebraska gets 26 points in the paint tonight to 18 for Iowa, but to have 13 shots at the rim and made 11 of them. Looking over the course of the game, if you were going to say that you were going to make 11 out of 13, to me, that says you should have gone there more. And how often did we see Nebraska's offense get completely stopped and flummoxed because no one could take someone off the dribble and they're playing 20 feet away from the basket? But again, Nebraska does have at least one, if not 2 guys who can get you on their hip and get into the paint. Braden Frager. We see Sam Hoiberg do it. I imagine Jamarcus Lawrence should be able to do this more than he does. But what does Nebraska seem to want to do? It's Rienk Mast trying to take guys off the dribble. And it's not, you don't have early season Rienk Mast. So there's got to be a let's clear it out, because they've gone to that before. They've gone to the clear out with Sam Hoiberg, and he finds a way into the paint. Even if he doesn't shoot it, he kicks it out to somebody. That's the most frustrating thing for me. You can talk about the rebounds, and yes, that's frustrating. You can talk about even like calls here and there throughout the game. Yeah, the officiating. It was frustrating. To me, what is most frustrating is getting to those last 12 minutes of the game and not just doing something that says we're going to win this game. I'm going to get someone on my hip and get into the paint, and we're going to win this game. Nobody decided to be alpha at the rim, take it in there, draw a foul, get points. It just kind of disappeared. And that's not what you see out of a top 10 team. That's not what you see out of a team that was at one time contending to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Now, hoping with this loss, and yeah, Nebraska could still win out, including a win over Iowa at home on March 8th before you go into the Big Ten tournament. But now with this loss, it feels like you're hoping at best to be a 3. And at worst, you're hoping to hold on to a 4. If not, actually, I shouldn't say at worst, because if you go over these other games, and let's say you drop LA and you drop another one, you're probably looking at one of the last 4 seeds, if not a 5.
Yeah, maybe you'd have to be pretty bad to get off the 4 line, in my opinion. You'd have to lose more than those 2 games, I think. But regardless, we can delve into that at the end. Hey, real quick, I want to shout out our sponsors: Nebraska Realty, Wahoo Office. We got Tim, we got Dan, we got Kurt. We got a great team, all 3 of them in the top 10 for Nebraska Realty sales. And Wahoo Office, yes, but we're talking all over Eastern Nebraska. We got people from Lincoln watching. We got people from Omaha watching. We got people from Waverly. We got people. I don't know if we have people from Waverly. I assume there's someone from Waverly in the 151 or listening to us on the podcast. And that's the thing is, like, they do everything in terms of real estate, and they cover everywhere in the state. And you may say, well, I'd stay in the city, but like, this is what these guys do. And are they able to come in if you've got ag land, if you've got an estate sale, if you've got any of those things as well, they can do it for you, and they can get you the best outcome possible, Caleb.
Yeah, it's one of those things that no matter how bad you feel with Nebrasketball, and trust me, these guys are feeling it too, because they are the real deal on being fans of Husker basketball. They follow the team both home and on the road. But that's what they can do for you. They can help you out at home. They can help you out on the road, and it's statewide. It doesn't have to be just Wahoo. It doesn't have to be just Lincoln or Omaha. Those guys will help you out. And if you just have any questions on, do you help with this? Do you help with that? What do you think of this? They'll take those phone calls and they'll help you out. And guess what? If it's something that they don't really know about, these are the kind of guys, this is what you want with Nebraska Nice. They'll point you in the right direction and they'll help you out. So that's one of the things that I really love since we've been hooked up with all of them, with Nebraska Realty and Wahoo, is that you're getting the real deal with people that like you want in your community. And they're going to help you out with that, especially if you are in the business, if you're looking for some ag land, or you're looking for a house, or you're looking for something, an auction coming up. Those are the guys. Those are the number one guys you're going to want to talk to.
Yep. Give them a call, 402-443-3415. Big Husker fans and proud sponsors. Well, I think they're proud. Maybe not tonight, of the I-80 Club, but we're proud to have them joining with us. 29 minutes, 32 seconds. It was 29 minutes. That's when I'm going to say something. So, don't put it on the internet that I sat here and whined about the refs, or I made the argument that exclusively the refs lost the game, which, by the way, that for Nebraska, that doesn't exist. You are understand when you're promoting a logical fallacy, folks. Please think. You're smarter than this. Every individual thing that happens in a game affects the outcome of the game. That is how you play, how it's officiated, all of those things. There's nothing that doesn't affect it. Quit saying that, okay? You sound dumb. It's embarrassing. And especially when you say things like that and it's about your own team having a bad impact from bad calls. You didn't. Even Sean Morris at the end of the game, Caleb, who, I assume he's weeping openly in his hotel room in Iowa City.
It's a safe assumption, yeah.
Thinking about that game. That last call on Mast, he was appalled. I mean, it was so bad. Here's an idea. This is an unbiased way to know if you've got an officiating crew that is really having some problems. If they review a play and it is so obvious that they, you know, when the refs, or excuse me, when the announcers say repeatedly, this is going to be a pretty quick review, which they did twice when balls went right off an Iowa player's leg, visible on TV, visible from everyone in the place. And that's just the beginning. I mean, let me want to do Sturts, like I gave him his flowers, right? He played great defense, but man, he was just holding Price all. It's the Keisei Tominaga thing, man. It's just it's not going to get called. It hasn't gotten called, so he's going to do it. I don't blame him, but man, that's not good defense. Come on, that's not good defense. He's holding him, and he finally got one there called at the end because it was so blatant and right in front of the ball. But that was tough to watch. The missed, a missed over and back that was super key. Like
that was a really bad call. That
there were some like just didn't. It's okay. A minute there were. It doesn't mean that you said Nebraska played awesome. I didn't. It was really bad, especially down the stretch, and they caught at the end of the game. I mean, the way they played cost Nebraska, but the way those calls went down the stretch were just. There were some that were objectively wrong. I suppose there were some that might have been closer calls, but I mean, Nebraska missed out on. It was a net loss of points. Let's just say that it impacted the outcome of the game.
Well, you talk about not just over the course of an entire game, the way they do add up, taking away opportunities, but in winning time, at the end of the game, you have that Rienk Mast foul call. Do you remember exactly how much time was left and what the score in the game was?
The one that Morris, was it a 5-point game then or a 3-point game?
The Rienk Mast moving screen. It was 50-47. Nebraska with the ball, 1:02 to go in the game.
Yeah. So, I mean,
so you're up to the last minute of the game in a very crucial offensive possession.
Yep.
And you get it that wrong.
And to the point, again, I'm biased. I admit I'm biased, but Sean Morris, he told us what he thought of that call, and he was speechless at that call. By the way, thank you, Sean, for the super chat. You can super chat if you're on the YouTube chat. Appreciate that, Sean. Thank you so much. I don't think he had anything to say, but I appreciate it. Yeah, that one was rough. It was rough. And apparently Price Sanford is dealing with a bit of an injury. He said his groin has been bothering him.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
Asked about tuning out the Iowa crowd. He said, I didn't hear anything. But I'm look, enjoy that huge win. This would be a good year for Iowa not to have a follow-up game back in Lincoln, because you want to see a bloodlusty crowd. That's going to be something.
Also, when you get to that game, there won't be 500 tickets available that morning still,
no,
or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's been sold out for a while. I mean, that is going to be a absolutely. I mean, I think as much as you've almost ever seen, and about between just the sheer annoyingness of the game, and look, nobody's shocked that the crowd was getting on Price Sanford. It went a little further than I thought it would, to be honest, but that didn't help. Like, it's gonna be a nasty ass atmosphere in there. Don't throw any beer cans.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Throw any beer cans. But look, Nebraska is one of the few Big Ten teams the last week that did not have an entire crowd chanting F someone. So
yeah, they weren't saying that at the refs this last week anyway. It's been said about
we have all these pearl clutching fan bases. And again, this is not about the beer can being thrown was horrible, but beyond that, like there's all these pearl clutching fan bases, and then I'm watching Purdue chant, the Purdue fans at the end of the game that they're losing, by the way, F Yaxel, and like, I mean, it's like that. Yeah, that's college basketball, right? Like to some degree. But why do we have to clutch our pearls so much when they come to freaking Nebraska? So bizarre.
No, it's
like you've been in big games before. I would think like has the last week has made me think that the Big Ten, with all these proud programs, have not played in big games before. It's weird. Between Purdue and Iowa, and again, huge moment for that for the entire state, right? For the entire state.
And they already called it and I get it. It is because it's impressive when watching that team play and then seeing the number of wins that they have. So I'm like, there's no way that product you put on the floor is good enough to win 19 games. And yes, one of them is over Nebraska, but yeah, it is the best win of the Ben McCollum era. Nebraska is the best win for Iowa.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at what is the annual wins for Nebraska, and you're looking at Iowa, who has dominated the rivalry, especially when it's been in Iowa City, and it comes down to beating Nebraska to be that signature. First of all, Iowa, yes, you guys should probably beat some other top teams, but also, yeah, there's a reason Nebraska's been ranked in the top 10 for the last several weeks. Nebraska's a really friggin' good basketball team and just looked god awful for 40 minutes today. Now, going forward, Jack, how do you get the team to turn around because there hasn't been a moment like this all season through the 26 games. There hasn't been a moment like this. Now you have to bounce back from, you can kind of SEC football this thing and say quality loss. That's a really good team. This is not a really good team that you lost to. It's not Rutgers. It's not Penn State. I just didn't think, I was not impressed at all from the product that Iowa put on the floor today. It was still better than what Nebraska showed up with. But you have to bounce back now from bad loss. Nebraska's going to have to do that going forward.
Yeah. Which, by the way, this is the best possible loss they had on the rest of their schedule.
Yeah.
And if you were, that's the funny thing. So here's the weird sort of paradox about this game, Caleb, is like, it's a quad one loss, right? I mean, it's not, it's the highest, it's the best loss in Nebraska. I don't know where I was like 20. I mean, I was in the 20s.
I was in the 20s. Yeah.
It's just, you watched it and you don't believe it. You just don't believe it. And I know it's a self-own because Nebraska lost to them.
Yes, I keep reiterating that. When it's like, yes, you beat Nebraska.
I understand. Like, I don't know. I understand what a self-own this is, but man, that is a bad team. It is a bad basketball team. I have no idea how they've been able to do what they've done this year. I mean, credit to the coach, credit to Sturtz. I mean, Sturtz is carrying, that dude is carrying the absolute world on his shoulder. He'll get some rebounds from Banks, but there's some dudes who are NAIA-esque players on that team who are getting a lot of minutes.
I'm watching a replay of Rienk Mast's screen.
Yeah, I see Officiating Observer. That's a Twitter account. He said it's a bad call.
Every account I've seen has said it's a bad call unless they have a Hawkeye in their profile picture.
Yeah. No, well, imagine if you watch the rest of the game. All the things.
Also, what we didn't even mention, Jack, incidental contact. Being able to land on somebody, it was incidental.
I mean,
isn't every you said this to me? Isn't every contact in the game just incidental at that point?
I mean, yes, the word incidental meaning as it was a result, I guess, of it was not the intended result.
Yeah.
The reviews were bizarre. The way that everyone decided in the crowd and the officials that Jamarcus Lawrence was trying to do something sinister every play for a while, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, like
Jamarcus
suddenly
got
became
under
the
his
enemy.
skin. I thought the way he played, I thought that all of that got under his skin. Like it was just bizarre. I was like, I'm not seeing the dirtiness that everyone seems to be furious about with Jamarcus Lawrence. And if you've watched him for a lot of years, he's not exactly that kind of a dude. Sometimes you kind of be one of like, hey, light a little bit more of a fire there, Jamarcus. Let's go. Maybe a little.
And what was
it's so weird? They acted.
The worst thing?
I'm still confused by huge chunks of the calls and the reviews and the players calling for reviews when there was not a foul called on them, and potential flagrant fouls where there was. I'm baffled by so many things.
They wanted everything reviewed when it came to a foul, and I get it. Like Jamarcus, he tried to sell it maybe more than he should have, but the Iowa guy still fully extended his arms to push him, and somehow that made Lawrence the enemy of Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Yeah,
for selling something a little bit, which I don't think Nebraska's players do enough compared to a lot of other teams.
Illinois.
Yeah, like there's a lot of guys in this league that sell stuff that is incidental contact.
Illinois has not made a 3 yet this year and ended up standing up after they made it. It's amazing.
But Jamarcus tries to sell something in the open court, and it's fully extended arms on a push, and that guy wants a review and ends up getting it, by the way.
I still don't know what did he want a review because he wanted the common foul waved off on him?
No, he wanted Jamarcus for a flop, probably.
That's what he was calling for. I still don't know for sure what he was asking for a review of.
If there was a whistle, Illinois wanted it reviewed for some type of flagrant against
Iowa.
Nebraska.
Yeah. It was
Iowa, Illinois, whatever. Why does every team want everything reviewed in a way that Nebraska just doesn't? Like I don't see that in these games that we've watched this season with I want that reviewed.
Nebraska ran out
for a flagrant. All Nebraska wants reviewed are the glaringly obvious missed out of bounds calls 3 feet in front of the officials.
And what is the rule that if you get rid of this rule immediately, that if you win a review, you still lose it?
So yeah, you get one review. If you win it, you get that one review again. But at max, you can only have 2 reviews. If you win the review, you should be able to do unlimited reviews as long as you keep winning them.
Yeah. I mean, once they had that second one, it was open season on giving Iowa the ball from out of bounds. And they had one that I thought they missed, but they were right. I'll admit it. That was the one on the baseline. I can't remember who it was. Stepped on the line afterwards, but so there were some. I'll say this: there were some correct calls during that game, Caleb.
Yeah, they got a couple right.
It was not all of them. Every call was not incorrect. There were some correct calls, so credit to the officials. Getting a few matters. Getting a few calls right in a game matters. I still think. Anyway.
Hot take there, Jack.
Let's do the player of the game or whatever, and then let's go to bed.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Ryan Anderson, Memorial Player of the Game. He's not dead. It's just a joke. Was Sam Hoiberg. I say Sam Hoiberg because he played and won mixtape ball on defense during most of the game against a guy who was averaging 21 points a game and absolutely befuddled him. And it was I just wish they could have found a way to have him on him the entire game. So that's my vote. Caleb, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Sam Hoiberg. I thought there were multiple times he also could have drawn fouls for illegal screens on that end of the floor.
I guess I didn't see that. The screens all looked very clean. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I guess now you look at it. So loss number 4. No bad losses for whatever that's worth. And I'm not quite like people are going to. I mean, yeah, let me figure out what I'm going to say. I'm obviously
I know where you're going with this, and I'll tell you, I'm people.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. If they get 5 or 6 losses, they're not gonna be They might be a 4 seed, but they're absolutely not going to be less than that. But I mean, that's like there's a lot of there's 2 seeds with 9 losses, and I know there are other factors than just the raw record, but like, and other. Yes, everybody seems to be calculating this thing, assuming every other team is going to go unbeaten for the rest of the year.
Even though they all play each other.
Like, that's what I don't understand is I think that maybe is the biggest issue that I seem to have on some of the calculations is like, well, they've only got 3 losses and Nebraska has 4. So like, I don't like, again, they got to win, but if they do, I'm not sure if people have been watching games lately, but the team you think's going to win doesn't sometimes quite a little bit, including in the Big Ten, quite a little bit. So, and it's too bad too, because, Nebraska got the result they wanted with Michigan beating Purdue, and they were going to get that game on Purdue now, and they lost that, which is disappointing. And that goes obviously toward getting that double bye in the Big Ten tournament.
I think more of this is just that, like, this is a sucky loss. Maybe it's not as bad of a loss as I was describing with being a quad 1 loss and you're on the road and this was the only game that Nebraska wasn't going to be favored in the rest of the way. It was really sucky because of the way the whole game played out, the way Nebraska played. It just didn't look good at all from start to finish. And that it's just so sour in my mouth right now, thinking about this team trying to come back from something that they haven't had to do all year in such a different way. And now you start to stack up. And this is something we talked about I think I was talking about this on Unemployed. You're starting to look at where are like the really good wins coming from. And you have to go back over a month now to go, that was a really good win for this team. You continue to miss opportunities with Michigan and Illinois and Purdue, and now on the road at Iowa being one of those quad 1A opportunities. This team just keeps still being in really good position for a high seed, a good seed to be favored first round of the NCAA tournament and get that monkey off the back. But it's just continuously missing opportunities over this last month now. And this one just felt worse, way worse than at any point in those other 3, even first half against Purdue. Just 40 minutes of ugh.
Yeah, for sure. But, by the numbers, it definitely – I mean, Iowa's rated right by North Carolina. They're rated 6 in the net.
Jack, I don't care about the numbers. The vibes suck. This 100%. Was bad.
No, I'm just showing like I said, the paradox of the whole thing. Like, Iowa's still 6 spots higher than Wisconsin in the net. And this is before the game. So I'm just saying in terms of the resume, it feels horrendous because of so many reasons. It feels horrendous. But the actual impact is probably not as horrendous as it feels, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In terms of Nebraska's resume. Now you can't Obviously, you got to turn things around. But, I mean, let's be fully honest. Like, if they're losing to Maryland and Penn State, it's a whole different like if we're having serious conversations about doing more than winning one game in the tournament, you're not losing either of those games.
Right.
Because it's rough. They're not going to lose those games, but if they do, we can just kind of maybe chill everything.
Right.
And just try and get an NCAA tournament win and chill everything beyond that.
Yeah, you better be 24-4 going to LA.
I mean, they're going to be monster favorites
mm-hmm.
against those two teams. And then you go to USC and UCLA, and I don't know if people have seen the news tonight on the UCLA game, but I'm not sure what kind of a mental state that team's going to be in. Oh, geez. Mick Cronin.
Mick Cronin is not having a good time.
Basically had a player taken off the floor is what I understand.
Yeah, he ejected his own player.
Yeah.
So if you're I guess there's that. In all of the life advice, someone's always got it worse than you. Well, Mick Cronin definitely has it worse than us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, but I mean, look, if I don't know if they I assume they'll still be favored in every game going forward, even after what happened today. I guess we'll see what happens with the USC and UCLA lines. But I mean, you went out, you end up 22 you're 22-4 right now with 4 losses. I guess you could be a 3 seed, but I think you're still probably a 2 seed if you do that. Even I guess it kind of depends a little bit what happens in the conference tournament, but then you look at the Big Ten standings right now. Speaking of that, so now you got Nebraska back in that jumble of a 3-team tie. You could have been tied with Illinois. Oh man, at second, and because Illinois picked up that loss to Wisconsin, but instead Michigan's at 15-1. Oh, there goes my lights. Illinois 12-3. You got Purdue at 11-4, Nebraska at 11-4, Michigan State at 11-4. Now you got Wisconsin. And did they lose tonight?
By 17, 86-69, Ohio State put it on them.
Jeez. So I assume that's already factored in here.
10-5 is where Wisconsin
10-5 currently.
Yeah.
So that Purdue, Michigan State area, but again, like these teams, Purdue has Indiana at home. They've got Michigan State at home. They go to Ohio State. They've got Wisconsin left. Like all of whatever. We'll see what happens. But like sort of this factoring in the rest of the season, crediting every team. It's mathematically impossible for every other team to get as many wins as everyone thinks they're going to, I would say.
Yeah. Nebraska's got a more favorable road, as we have talked about, but they can't show up like they did today. They can't show up like they did today and make it a monumentally bad loss over these last few.
It was well, let's win them all and let's bring Iowa back on senior day and let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
who you got, guys? Who's everyone got if Nebraska plays Iowa in Lincoln on senior day? And
if there's something that Nebraska is playing for, you know, as you talk about the way all of these other top teams in the Big Ten have each other left on their schedule, and if Nebraska is playing for that triple bye, I don't think Nebraska will necessarily be in a position for a regular season conference championship. But if playing for the triple bye and playing for a more favorable seed line, which, by the way, this Saturday we'll see where the NCAA selection committee, how they view Nebraska.
Oh, man.
Because we'll have the top 16 reveal. This was Nebraska's last chance to impress the committee before that first inkling of how they're viewing the Huskers.
Man.
But if Nebraska's got something.
They'll still be in there.
Yeah, Nebraska will be in there. I'm really certain of that. But I'm talking about when you get to March 8th and you have Iowa coming to town, and Nebraska's got something to play for when it comes to where their seed line is or potentially where they're at on getting that triple bye instead of a double bye. And you are still going to be carrying the loss that just happened tonight a few weeks from now. One, the crowd is going to be unhinged, but 2, the play on the floor. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nebraska win by 15 in comeback, but also how is the team mentally when you get to that point in the year? We don't know that. Like, we don't know exactly where they'll be, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Nebraska win by double digits when the teams meet again.
If Nebraska wins out, 15 would be, I'll double that.
If Nebraska is heading into that Iowa game, like you said, so 26-4 is what Nebraska would be.
Yeah.
And you say not just double digits, but probably 20 plus.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like the revenge game where you make a statement.
We don't, you don't need to, you don't need to even talk about it. We'll just see what happens. Who knows? Who knows what would happen when that Iowa team comes to Lincoln and plays Nebraska on Senior Day? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. They seem evenly matched based on what I saw tonight. Iowa maybe a little edge. It's a very good team. It's a very good team. And we'll see if Nebraska's fans storm the court. You never know. It could be very excited. It's Senior Day.
Yeah.
They got an NCAA tournament ahead of them. Very excited. This is a godforsaken night.
The show was twice as long as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put up the something. I didn't put up whatever. There's our thing.
Hey, it's the Nebrasketball hour. That's Jack Mitchell.
All right, that's it for the whatever. This it's the wrong whatever.
No, this is right. This is right.
Yep, that's right. All right. Sorry that I was not in the mood to do a show tonight, but I think I actually did pretty good considering the circumstances. So you're welcome. Thank you to Nebraska Realty for being our sponsor, the Wahoo office. Give Kurt a call. If you're watching on the video, you can see his cell right there. Give him a call. Not now, but
probably tomorrow sometime.
Down the road when you're interested in doing some realty action. And tomorrow on the I-80 Club, Mike Schaefer. What is tomorrow? Thursday? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh, this week it's only Wednesday. So that means Josh is on with him tomorrow.
Yep.
I bet Mike is about in the mood we are right now. Maybe worse. I was watching his Twitter feed, and at some point, I did pass him in terms of bitterness and anger, but he was ahead of me early in the night.
Yeah,
I'll say that. So there you go. And then Josh and I have we're going to do our subscriber show coming up on Saturday now. So we've done a few subscriber shows on Saturday. Patreon.com/I-80 Club if you want to be a part of the Discord and our subscriber shows. And there you go. All right, Caleb, thank you for coming over.
Yeah, it was food was good. The food was great.
I made some wings and we made some. I got to clean that up upstairs now. Another kick in the crotch.
Oh, sorry about the reminder.
Game. All right, that's it. It's Nebrasketball Hour brought to you by Nebraska Realty Wahoo office. Goodbye. See you next time. Have a great night. Go big.